Hello, welcome. I'm Kristen from Kristen Kane Style. I'm thrilled that you're here today. Today is going to be sort of a catch up on all the things episode. I'm going to share just kind of what's been going on with me and my family and bring you up to speed and just express my gratitude as well. So first and foremost, if you don't know me, I am Kristen from Kristen Kane Style. I'm a style and mindset coach, and I help women get dressed with ease. I can help you go from a place of frustrated and stuck and overwhelmed with your style and your wardrobe and your closet to a place where getting dressed is just easy and effortless, and you always look and feel incredible. Whatever your version of incredible is, my clients get results. So if working with me one-on-one is something you've been kind of considering, I urge you to check out Style Therapy, which is my signature program. There is a link down below, and we can hop on a consult call. I offer a 1-hour consult call. And the reason it is an hour is because I really want to dig into what is going on with your style, because I want to help you make a decision about whether style therapy is the right fit for you at the time that we have our call. But I also want you to leave the call with a lot of information about what is really going on with your style, because oftentimes women think that there is a certain issue, and yet when we really dig into it a little bit and I ask questions that are going to kind of uncover what's happening with you, we get to the bottom of what's really going on with your style, and it's not actually what you were thinking. So if you're trying to solve a problem that isn't really the problem you're having, that is getting in the way. So all that to say, if you would like to book a one-on-one consult call with me to see if style therapy is a good fit, just check out the link down below and we can get that booked so their style can be transformed and getting dressed can be easy. Okay, so I want to just kind of recap. We have now been in Salt Lake City for over 4 months, and it has been one of the most unusual, unique, expansive stressful experiences of my life. And I made a video a little over a month in, I think. And so I will link that video here so that if you have no idea what I'm talking about and think, hey, I thought you lived in Boulder, or I had no idea where you lived and, wasn't even knowing I should be curious about what's happening with you and your family, you can go check out the original video and then come back and watch this one. And if this isn't your thing and you don't care what the update is, then certainly just skip this one. And next week I will be back to talking more style. This is more of a life update and gratitude situation. So the first thing I want to talk about is kind of over the last 4 or 5 months, what I have realized, like the things that I have actually learned, the things that I have noticed that are maybe different than what I thought they would be when we made the decision to come to Utah. Just quickly, I will recap in case you're not going to watch the other video and you're kind of wanting a little more info. My husband and our 24-year-old daughter and I moved from Boulder, Colorado, where we had lived for a decade, to Salt Lake City on August 1st, thinking that we were going to be here for 2 months. We rented an Airbnb, and the original plan was that we would come to Salt Lake City for 2 months, and then on the 1st of October, we would go somewhere else, trying to decide where we wanted to live next, specifically where my husband and I wanted to live next. And my daughter was pretty sure she didn't want to stay in Boulder, was sure she didn't want to stay in Boulder either, and figured she'd come along with us and kind of explore places along with us to see where she wanted to land. So we thought we would be here for 2 months, and then we would move on to Montana or to Idaho or to Mexico or who knows where. But I mean, we had a short list of places we thought we would go next. We got to Salt Lake City and realized how much we actually enjoy it. My middle son, Peter, went to the University of Utah. He graduated back in May. He is in a bluegrass band. They have been the band formed back in like February of this year. And they are really having a blast. The band is called Theoretical Blonde. They have released their first single. They are working on more music to release to the public. And so it has just been a blast. So we quickly kind of regrouped and thought, well, why would we leave Salt Lake City? We really are enjoying the city itself. We are enjoying the people. We are enjoying hanging out with Peter and getting to watch what's happening with his band. Kind of makes no sense to go move to, Livingston, Montana, where we don't know a soul. So we decided to stay here. Because we still weren't really ready to decide we wanted to be here long term, we did not immediately decide, okay, well, let's find a house that we can lease and bring our stuff from Boulder and, be here. So we have now been in Airbnbs since August 1st. So August 1st, we were there in one for 2 months. Then we were in one for October. And now we are in another one, and we'll be here through the rest of the year. At which point I am hopeful we will find a more long-term rental, and we will bring the things that we have in a small storage container in Colorado. We will bring those things here, and we will kind of establish ourselves in an actual house. The moving around has been interesting, and I am a Sagittarius, and we do not, just kind of as a kind of generalization, Sagittarians have a sense of wanderlust, and they do not mind change, and it's totally cool to kind of keep rearranging rooms and keep setting up homes and bopping from place to place. And so while there is something actually true about that for me, I also am taking into consideration how my husband's feeling about it, how my daughter's feeling about it, in addition to how I'm feeling about it, in the moment, and as, moods and days and circumstances change. So it has been interesting to now have been in 3 homes in Salt Lake City. None of those homes are ours. Each home is a little bit different. We have gone from the largest of the 3 to the smallest of the 3 now. The house we live in right this minute is a little over 1,500 square feet. So it is not big at all, which has posed some challenges of its own, which I will share a little more about. And the joke of it is that I had wanted a much more simple life for a long time. Not to the point of extreme minimalism, but really to the point of decluttered to where I felt comfortable with my stuff, and I didn't ever feel like there was an excess, and felt really pretty good about the things that I owned and why I owned them, and that I only had things that I felt were useful or beautiful or both. And I really was struggling to get there. And this move has kind of catapulted me into this space of, okay, you really only have literally the space for the things that you love and use on a regular basis. So it's been very interesting. I will kind of go through some things that I have noticed and learned, kind of the takeaways that I have learned in this experience. I want to start by saying that I recognize fully my privilege. I recognize that no matter how difficult this experience is, and there are things that I don't share here with regards to our situation that maybe would make it clear that this is not, I can just say it and make it clear. This is not a situation where we sold a house in Boulder and we have, countless money in the bank and we're just hopping around to the finest Airbnbs, living this life of luxury until we figure out where we want to settle down. We made this decision rather abruptly because we knew Boulder wasn't the right fit for us, but we didn't have a different plan, and we rented a home in Boulder and we needed a different home to live in. So now we are really enjoying getting to know these 3 different areas that we've been in Salt Lake. And it's helping us clarify where we would actually want to rent a home longer term or ultimately purchase a home. But I want to state out loud rather, that I recognize that I am privileged to be able to stay in an Airbnb and have, running water and heat and a comfortable place to live and a safe place to live. That is not lost on me, and I do not take that for granted. Some of the things I'm going to mention with regards to changing the amount of size that we have and the thoughts and the feelings that brought up for me might cause a reaction in someone who's watching this. And so I just want to start off by saying I am not complaining. I'm not overlooking the incredible privileges that I have. And at the same time, I'm just sharing the honest experience of what this has been like, to live in these different homes and to not have a home base and a place that is actually ours right now. So first, this experience of living in different Airbnbs, and specifically small Airbnbs, because the first house we rented was fabulous. All 3 homes have been great. The first one was fabulous, and it was much smaller than the home that we had been renting in Boulder. And yet it now is expansive in comparison to this small house that we're in right this minute. So it's interesting to have watched my brain adjust to difference, my body and my brain adjust to different spaces, to less space, and adapt, because we're so adaptable, which I think is one of the things that I have seen in all 3 of us, as we've made these changes, is that we have adapted really well, and I'm really proud of us. And this has really brought up to the surface all of the thoughts that I have had for so long around lack and scarcity. And I recognize, and I've talked about this on here before, I recognize that I was really comfortable with having enough space to have backstock. So whether that was extra toilet paper, whether that was more Band-Aids, whether that was an extra, carton of eggs that was outside in a used refrigerator that we had in our garage in Boulder, I was really accustomed to having enough space to have extras so that I didn't run out of something and I didn't have to go to the store, and I always had what I needed on hand. And it has triggered me in different ways to have much less space, so that I have to be much more aware and conscious and intentional about what I'm putting in that space. And I have to let go of the idea that, well, what if I need this one day? What if I actually need this, one day? What if this thing that I used to stock in my old life, what if I need it? Then what am I going to do? It has really been interesting to look at how having less and having a smaller amount of space and living with a more minimal situation has made me really look at how far I've come with regards to the lack and the scarcity that I would always see things through, and also recognize that I still have plenty. I still have what I need. There is a grocery store and a Target and a Walmart very close. There is Amazon. I am not wanting for anything. It's just very interesting to not have as big a fridge, not have a pantry that is really very functional at all because it's tiny. And again, I recognize my privilege. So it is not about that. It is just about adapting, and how interesting it is to really want a more simple life and then be sort of plunged into it unexpectedly and recognize, well, this is what I chose, and now I need to kind of step up and actually walk the walk and live the life that I have been dreaming of and wishing for, that has much fewer belongings in it and much less backstock and much less stuff in general, and has kind of eliminated that category of what if I need it one day. Because first of all, I don't have enough space to keep storing all the what if I need it one day. Some of the things that, the things that we still own that aren't with us are in a storage container in Colorado, safe and sound, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm not even sure what's in there anymore. I don't even remember. We purged so much that I'm not really even sure what's in the container. But it's just been interesting to really have wanted a more simple life in a smaller space for a long time. And now I have it, and it's wonderful, and it's interesting to see what comes up. The next thing I want to mention is that the smaller spaces, specifically in like the bathrooms and the kitchens and storage, are very interesting, because currently the bathroom, my daughter said something about a bathroom in one of the houses we looked at and didn't end up staying in, was that the bathroom sink looked like a bicycle helmet. The bathroom sink in the bathroom that I am in right now, and this house was maybe built in the 30s or 40s, and it's been renovated and the bathroom sink is new, but the bathroom sink right now is smaller than a placemat. And when I tried to bend over and wash my face in the sink, the way that the mirror is positioned and the way that the sink is, I splash water on the floor every single time. I have now started to laugh at myself and recognize that the counter, or the front of the little cupboard that's in front of the sink, and the floor basically get washed every single evening when I wash my face, because I can't help but splash water on the floor when I'm washing my face. Kitchen is the same way. We had to do some rearranging, and we actually borrowed a great table from Peter so that we could set up a little more counter space, because my husband likes to cook and we all eat dinner at home pretty much every single night, and Peter is here for dinner most nights. And so we needed some space to be able to set up and cook and function as a family in the kitchen. So all of this is just sort of new. Like, how many knives do we need? We brought two kind of cooking knives and a grapefruit knife from Colorado with us. And so then it's a matter of, okay, does the Airbnb have a knife? Do we need more than two knives? How does this all work? This kitchen has very little storage, so I've thrifted a hand mixer and a crock pot, and the crock pot is under our bed because there is no storage in the kitchen for the crock pot. So it's just really interesting to look at how capable we are of living in a situation that is different than something we used to have or something we thought we needed, and how adaptable we can be. The next thing is, the next takeaway, wonderful takeaway, is more time with a little more with one more of my kids at home. Having Peter here so often for dinner and being able to hang out with him and run errands with him and just see him in general is such a blessing. I got spoiled during the pandemic when my kids were home more than they weren't, and they're adults. And so by rights, they should all be doing their own thing. And we have inserted ourselves in Peter's town and in his life and in his friend group in a lot of ways. And he has welcomed us, and it is wonderful. So that family element has been incredible, to be able to watch TV shows together and play games. Well, I don't really play many games, but Matthew and Peter have been able to play backgammon and Scrabble and, play some games together and cook together and hang out together. And that's just really the reason that we stayed. The reason that we didn't keep bopping around to different towns was because Peter was here, and that feels good for right now. And the next thing is that we're having more fun. The fun element in Colorado just was missing largely. It doesn't mean I never had any fun in Colorado, but we were not prioritizing fun. It was just not a community where we were having much fun. That has been different from the minute we got here. Part of that, yes, is that Peter's lived here for 4 years and he has a community, and the band members have parents who live here, and we are making friends because we are going to see his band play every week at a standing show, and then sometimes more than once a week depending on what else they have going on. But the being able to listen to music and have that be sort of a joy portal and a way of lifting our spirits and of elevating, just our frequency and vibing higher. I'm outrageously grateful for the fun that we are having, and the way that the music that Peter and his band play have really kind of seeped into my soul. I never listened to bluegrass music before, and certainly no matter what kind of music he was playing, I would be listening, but it really is just happy, fun, joyful music, and I'm thrilled for that piece of being in Salt Lake that I wasn't expecting. The next thing is the nature. I am not someone who hikes every weekend. I don't ride a bike. I'm not out running every single, afternoon. And yet the blue sky and the mountains and just being able to be surrounded by such incredible beauty outside really, really feels good. And certainly Boulder is incredibly beautiful. And so I didn't want to give that up. And we were very intentional about the places we were considering, because blue sky and dry air and sunshine and now mountains are really important to us. And so this was an easy kind of transition as far as weather goes. It is still beautiful out as I'm making this video. I recognize that as we get into the winter, last year they got, I think, 900 inches of snow in Salt Lake. So I know that I will be welcoming the snow. Hopefully I will be welcoming the snow. But the idea of having new mountains to get familiar with, and a new climate, and just new outside surroundings and views and vistas, that has been really special and really wonderful. And having a new town, certainly there's something challenging about having a new town, because you don't really know where you're going, and you don't know, where the best spots are for things, and you haven't found a new hairdresser, and you haven't found new doctors, and the things that you get used to in your town and you get familiar with. You're kind of unplugging from all of that when you go to a new spot, and then you have to relearn it and do it differently. Find those people again. Even the stores, I go into stores here and they're sort of like, even the grocery store, similar, but not exactly the same. So I have to kind of relearn how things are laid out and what stores have what things that I'm looking for. And again, it's a city, so I have everything that I need. It's just a matter of sometimes I turn the wrong way and I realize, oh wait, Target's behind me. It's not in front of me. I'm in the wrong direction. And we've been in 3 different neighborhoods, 3 very different areas of Salt Lake. So then I get very used to one Target and one Costco and one grocery store. And now I'm 6 or 8 minutes in a different direction and have to get used to what's next to that. All of that to say, I think that is kind of expansive and good for our brains to continue to learn new things, even if it's how the grocery store is laid out. So I am enjoying getting to know a new city. I am enjoying meeting new people and getting to know new friends. Recently, I had the experience of coming out of the Smith's grocery store and having a young man who is friends with Peter, who is in a different band here. He pulled up his car in front when I was walking out and, said hello. And I thought, I remember in Boulder the first time a neighbor recognized me in the grocery store, and how interesting that feels when you've transplanted to a new spot and you don't know anybody and you wonder if anyone will ever recognize you anywhere. So to be recognized, a couple of weeks ago, coming out of the grocery store, just felt like, okay, this actually feels like it's our home now, and that feels good. The next thing I will mention is the easy access to the airport. Boulder Airport, Denver Airport is not a problem to get to from Boulder, but it's not easy. It's not super convenient. It takes a while. The airport here, in any of the 3 houses that we've lived in, is 15 minutes max. Sometimes it's 7, 8, 9 minutes, depending on the day and the time of day. So that just feels, and I haven't traveled that much. I've gone back to Denver and I've gone to Ohio, but to be able to pick people up at the airport or to leave, and fly out of that airport when it's so close is really delightful. So I'm loving that. The challenges, I would say, have been adapting to a new space and trying to figure out where everything goes and put things away. I have not really allowed enough time and enough wiggle room for that. And so with each move, as we moved on the 1st of August and then on the 1st of October and then on the 1st of November, I've dropped some balls, and I have had to apologize to some clients for not being able to show up in my full capacity at the time that I thought I could, or, with the deliverable that I thought I could. Thankfully, everyone has been very patient with me. I just was not giving myself enough time and recognizing the energy that it would take to set up each new spot, because it's an Airbnb, so it has really everything we need. And yet we all work from home and we have, specific things we need to set up. And we've brought some things with us, and we've thrifted, as I said, a crock pot and a mixer, and we thrifted plates and glasses at one of the first Airbnbs because they really didn't have any dinner plates that were working. They had some plastic plates and stuff, but it wasn't what we needed. So I've thrifted some things that now we keep packing up and taking house to house. So it takes a few days to get things situated, probably almost a week by the time everything gets put away and I've been to the grocery store and we've settled in. And I wasn't giving myself enough time to actually make that happen and make it feel good and work and create content and work with clients kind of all at the same time. So that part, I've shot a couple videos that weren't that great because the lighting wasn't that great, or the noise level was different, or the focus was off, because I don't have the same amount of space and, the same setup as I was used to in Boulder. And I'm figuring it out, and I am trying to celebrate the learning the new way instead of being frustrated by it. And then the last thing that is a little challenging right this minute is heading into the holidays without any of our holiday stuff. So we have thrifted some garland and a wreath and some stockings, actually some really cute stockings, and some other little Christmas decoration things. And we will get a tree. We thrifted a great tree stand. We will get a tree. We got some lights. I don't know that we will decorate the tree. We might do something supernatural like popcorn strings, or strands of cranberries, strung, or dried fruit. I did that once when Greta was really, really little. She wasn't even aware that it was Christmas. And it was actually a really pretty tree. It felt very woodlandy and foresty. But everyone has told me that they're fine with just having lights, so it might just be lights, which is fine. And it'll be fun to have that kind of a Christmas this year. And my dad hand painted all of my kids' Christmas stockings. Makes me a little emotional. My Christmas stocking was knit by my mother when I was a child. Matthew's came from when I worked at Neiman Marcus, and it is hand embroidered, hand needle pointed. So our stockings are special, and they're in a box in Boulder. I've received Christmas ornaments from my parents since childhood, and I've given my kids Christmas ornaments over the years. So our Christmas tree is very eclectic, and I will miss unpacking those ornaments and hanging them on the tree. There has only been one other Christmas when we weren't home with our things, and that was because of a vacation. And we still had a Christmas tree at home. We still put up our Christmas tree and decorated it. We just spent Christmas Day away from home, but we still had the tree up when we got home and before we left. So the Christmas stuff feels weird. It feels weird to be headed into Christmas without, I don't have a ton of decorations for Christmas because that's not my style, but the things that we do put out that do feel sentimental and nostalgic and special and important to us, those are all safely tucked away in a storage container. So it's been a little bit, it's brought up some emotion getting ready to celebrate the holidays here. And I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to having Christmas here. I'm looking forward to having a birthday here. I think that will be a good thing. And I'm looking forward to having Henry here to spend some time with us. And so it's going to be good. And at the same time, it definitely brings up some stuff. In addition, I miss some friends in Boulder very much. And I can sometimes get a little weepy and nostalgic and miss the fact that I can't just call them and say, can I come have a porch sit and hang out with you? That's difficult. And at the same time, we're in the right spot. It feels like we belong here. I'm thankful that we're here. I'm looking forward to what happens next after the first of the year and where we will end up and hopefully land for a longer period of time so that we can really get established and have our home feel like us. And in the meantime, I'm very grateful for the fact that people do month-long Airbnbs and that we are able, have been able to find a couple that work for us, and that we weren't trying to do this in the midst of ski season when Airbnbs become prohibitively expensive, unless you're, kind of 4 families coming to Salt Lake to rent an Airbnb. The prices just double and triple, and so it makes it a little more difficult. So we're looking forward to being in our own home, hopefully on the first of the year. I'll keep you posted. And lastly, I just want to mention how incredibly grateful I am for this space and for this community that has been created here. I started this channel because I read The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, and I watched a bunch of KonMari videos on the KonMari method that other people had made. And my son Peter, who is my bluegrass person and used to be my video person, said, Mom, you could make a video like that if you wanted to explain how to do the KonMari method in your home. And so I did. I made a series of videos that are still up here on my channel, way, way down at the bottom. I leave them there to remind me of how this all started. And I never really considered bringing style. I worked at Anthropologie at the time. I had been a stylist. I had my own business. It's not that I had never talked about style before, but I did not anticipate that this space was going to become style coaching related. And yet it has. I, at this point, have well over 100 videos, and I am really proud of what I offer here. And I hope that it is helpful in a way that is different from what other people offer, because it is super important to me that I coach and teach on this subject. I treat this time with you pretty much like if we were sitting next to each other on a sofa or at a table or at on a park bench. I treat this time like I would talk to a dear friend or to a new client who was asking something about style. I really want this to feel intimate and to feel like I get you, because I do. I talk about this not because I came out of the womb understanding how to put together a great outfit, but because I went through all the struggles that my clients and my viewers and my followers have gone through or are going through. And I have, from my own, in my own world, come up with the most simple way to overcome those struggles and those things that get in the way of us looking and feeling amazing when we get dressed. So I am thrilled that you are here. Thank you for your support. This community means so much to me, and I love knowing who you are. I love seeing the same names over and over again, and new names in the comments, and recognizing that we've been on this journey now for a while, or seeing a brand new person say, oh my gosh, I just found your channel and I'm binge watching your videos and I love what you're sharing and my style is like yours and I, appreciate that you teach, and, whatever they're saying. Thank you to those of you who are here watching, maybe lurking, never leaving a comment. I really have immense gratitude for the fact that you choose one of my videos to watch, even for a few minutes, when you're seeking some information or some inspiration about style. So thank you very much for that. I look forward to what's ahead and to, how to continue to teach and show up here and serve here for anyone who is either a paid client or who is never going to be a paid client. I am grateful for this space that I can use as a classroom and really dig into topics that matter to me with regards to getting dressed, and also that you guys share and tell me matter to you, and could I please explore them. I'm thrilled to have this space as an outlet, and I'm forever grateful to those of you who watch, so that it gives me a reason to show up here. So thank you. If there is anything you would like me to cover in an upcoming video, please do not hesitate ever to drop it in the comments and just say, please make a video on this. And if for some reason I forget and 6 months goes by and you don't see a video about that and it really is still something you want me to address, I apologize for skipping over it somehow. It was not intentional. Just drop me another message and say, hey, Kristen, I asked for this once and you never did it. And I will immediately remember and I will make the video, I promise. All right, that's all I got for today. Thank you. Thank you for being here and for watching and for taking time out of your life to allow me to share something that I am so passionate about. I truly love talking about style and talking about how mindset affects what happens when we go to get dressed and we shop and we edit and we look in our closet. So if you'd like to see more of that from me, stick around. And I would love it if you would subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and or share my channel with someone who you think, would benefit from the things that I talk about here. That's it. I hope you have a really beautiful week, and I will be back next Friday. Thank you so much.